बहुत बहुत आभार। हमारे बीच में अब है श्री रामविलास पासवान, मिनिस्टर कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स, फूड एंड पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। We welcome you, sir. Thank you so much for agreeing to our request and being present here. With the minister, we also have his very, very dynamic Secretary Sahab, Shri Keshav Desi Raju, Secretary Consumer Affairs and Foods and Public Distribution. You've been our guiding force, sir. Thank you so much for being here. On our panel today at the inaugural, we have Mr. Siddharth Birla. He's President FICCI. And thank you so much for being here. And Mr. Kurush Grant, who's Chair FMCG Committee. And our knowledge partner, KPMG, Mr. Rajat Wahi. Welcome all of you. 2 साल पहले डायरेक्ट सेलिंग का ये मुद्दा हमारे फिकी तक पहुंचा. We realized that this industry not only has the capacity to develop business, develop entrepreneurs, but also has capacity to serve consumers, reach out to millions and millions of people at all levels. Without taking much of a time, we would like to formally welcome our dear Minister Sahab, Shri Ramvilas Paswan, with a green certificate. It is the green way of FICCI, of celebrating. Now I would request Mr. Kurush Grant, the Chairman FMCG Division of FICCI, to honor our Secretary Sahab with a green certificate. Now I would request Mr. Siddharth Birla to do the welcome address.
Thank you, Shilpa. I'll just go ex-tempo very quickly. रामविलास पासवान जी, आपका बहुत स्वागत है. Secretary Desiraj ji, Kurush Grant ji, and Mr. Wahi, and all our friends and senior officials who are here today. FICCI 87 साल की हो गई. महात्मा गांधी की प्रेरित ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो हिंदुस्तान के व्यवसाय को किस तरह से बढ़ावा मिले और किस तरह गवर्नमेंट के साथ एंगेजमेंट हो, और अब जो माहौल एक बना हुआ है ग्रोथ का और डेवलपमेंट का, इसमें हम अपना पूरा योगदान किस तरह से दे सकते हैं वो हम निरंतर जुड़े रहते हैं. जिस तरह से कंज्यूमर मार्केट की ग्रोथ हो रही है, जिस तरह से कंपनियां नए नए कंज्यूमर्स के पास जाना चाह रही हैं, उसमें डायरेक्ट सेलिंग का एक बहुत बड़ा हाथ है. और हमने भी इस इमर्जिंग सेक्टर में एक बहुत दिलचस्पी हमें लगी और इसमें हमने एंटर किया. हमारे विचार में जो काफ़ी चैलेंजेस हैं इस सेक्टर के अंदर, अभाव है एक क्लियर डेफिनेशन ऑफ मल्टी लेवल मार्केटिंग का. तो फिक्की की ये एक सुझाव रहा है कि एक सेपरेट रेगुलेटर होना चाहिए डायरेक्ट सेलिंग इंडस्ट्री के लिए. नहीं तो कई इसमें डायरेक्ट सेलिंग के रास्ते में बहुत बाधाएं आती हैं. कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स में भी काफ़ी इसके ऊपर चर्चा हुई थी, क्योंकि दूसरे कानून जो हैं वो डायरेक्ट सेलिंग के ऊपर लागू हो जाते हैं. तो सर, आज आप यहाँ पधारे, आज सेक्रेटरी साहब पधारे, आज हमारे इतने यहाँ पे गेस्ट्स हैं, मैं सबको बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा. बिना समय लिए हुए मैं अपना स्पीच समाप्त करता हूँ. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, Mr. Birla. My request Kurush Grant, who's chairing our FMCG division, to actually come and talk about industry's perspective and what he feels about direct selling.
Manya Mantri ji, distinguished people on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, direct selling is not new. In fact, as a child growing up, the vegetable salesman coming to our doorstep, the sabji wala coming to your doorstep is something we've all grown up with. It is just old wine in a new bottle in terms of processes. In fact, FMCG companies in India have been involved with direct selling processes for years. All FMCG companies follow multiple channels of distribution. And when one talks about multi-level marketing, let me give you some examples of multi-level marketing in other forms of distribution, typically fast-moving consumer goods. The traditional FMCG distribution in India goes from manufacturer to CNF agent, to distributor, to trader, to wholesaler, to retailer, and finally to the consumer. That's 7 steps. What is, however, extremely important and what is key to what all of us are here to ensure is that there is a level playing field. One must try to understand that there are several people who get involved with distribution mechanisms, be it direct selling companies, be it conventional distributor-oriented organizations, be it e-commerce sites, be it television marketing, and so on and so forth. For example, SEBI needs to ensure that equity pumped into some of these companies are used for the purpose the equity is being raised for. The Consumer Affairs Department obviously has to be involved to ensure that there is a level playing field as far as the consumers are concerned. Commerce and industry have to ensure that rules of FDI are maintained consistently across the organizations, irrespective of the methodology of distribution and irrespective of the methodology of order taking. The Competition Commission must clearly get involved whenever there are issues of not only anti-consumer activities, but anti-trade activities also. Some of the recent instances of dumping of stock by certain methodologies of trade through use of equity money quite clearly is a good example of this. And lastly, the Finance Ministry needs to get involved, both at the central and state level, for the simple reason that there needs to be a level playing field when it comes to service tax, when it comes to VAT, when it comes to excise duties to be collected from any kind of organization, as long as it is product going directly to the consumer. Before I end, I have one request, sir, directly to you in Amway, and it has nothing to do with direct selling or direct marketing at all. You, sirs, are one of the world leaders in value-added agriculture, particularly when it comes to medicinal and herbal plants. I would request you as an Indian to bring that technology into India to assist our farmers actually adding value to themselves and to the Indian economy. Thank you.
Now, I would request our Honorable Secretary, Mr. Keshav Desi Raju, to speak to us.
Grateful to Vicky for the invitation to be present at this meeting. I just have a few remarks to make. The position that we had earlier taken in the Department of Consumer Affairs with regard to direct selling was that whatever was necessary could be administered under the Price Chits and Money Circulation Schemes Banning Act. And that was a view that was held for some years, though more recently, a final decision of view was taken in consultation with the Department of Financial Services that Consumer Affairs Department ought to and should take the lead in considering the need for standalone legislation, the need for setting up a regulator, what specifically the regulator's responsibilities would be, and what was there to regulate, which is currently not being regulated, what was there to regulate, which could not be dealt with under the Consumer Protection Act. As many of you would know, there was a pending issue about amendments to the Price Chits and Money Circulation Act and the possibility of granting exemptions under that act. That has been kept, that it has been decided that no amendments were necessary, no exceptions would be given under that act, and that insofar as legitimate and direct selling was concerned, it was a matter for the Department of Consumer Affairs to handle. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you so much.
We established our business here in 1995. That is, we came in and set up an office, but we did not start and commence our commercial operations until 1998. Amway sourced its products in the small-scale sector. That may sound easy, but in fact, it was incredibly hard. You would appreciate when you're talking about high-quality, products with high levels of technology and formulations. It requires a very serious manufacturing competence to make those. Our commitment to Make in India is incredibly strong. We are just today setting up a 600 crore manufacturing facility. This is just an artist impression of it here. This is being done in the state of Tamil Nadu. And we will commission this plant early next year, and it will be actually fully finished in approximately October of next year, but it'll actually start making products for some of our categories in February. What Amway offers today is, with those products, a 100% money-back guarantee. That may not sound like any big deal, but I can tell you that Amway and other direct selling companies that are here today are the only FMCG companies in this country who offer comprehensive money-back guarantees. We make the promise, but importantly, we stand behind those promises. The other thing, of course, all direct selling companies do, including Amway, is we offer a business opportunity. So half of our business is our high quality products, but the other half is how we distribute our products. We've had a few challenges over the last few years. And, there are those that would look at our business and say, well, 2,000 crore turnover, 15 years, what are you complaining about? That's a pretty good result. And we don't, discount that. At the same time, we think we could have been 3 times that size had perhaps some of the issues we've had to deal with not been there. First and foremost, in our view, there is a lack of definitional and operational clarity regarding the business of direct selling. And that needs to be sorted out. Thank you very much.
My name is Moritz Brugink. I am Executive Director of the European Direct Selling Association. That's a bit of a particular organization. It's not like a national direct selling association. Our sole purpose of being is to interact with the regulator in Brussels mainly as capital of the European Union. So we have a lot of experience in the European regulation of the direct selling sector. So just to give you a brief overview first of how Europe looks like in terms of direct selling. Just to refresh your minds, 28 countries, member states now of the European Union, 505 million inhabitants, and the capital, as I said, kind of capital is Brussels. Now then, if you look at the regulation of our sector, it is very well regulated. It's heavily regulated. And on one side, we're not so happy with it as an industry, heavily regulated. But on the other side, we're also happy with it because it gives a kind of structure in the market, gives confidence to both authorities but also to consumers. So despite the fact that there is a strong regulation, we welcome it. I would be very happy to see consumers complain more to our ombudsman because it actually gives confidence in the market, gives confidence that consumers can complain and then can find a resolution if they have a problem. So concluding on this on this presentation, I think in the European Union we have embraced direct selling. We have strongly regulated it from a consumer point of view, from a business-to-business point of view. Sometimes it's heavy for companies, but in general, we companies are happy with a strong regulated market. So I could only encourage you to hear, as long as you have freedom of entrepreneurship, if you guarantee consumer rights and rights of your direct sellers, then the markets will thrive. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to Vicky for putting on this event in this very important sector of the economy that offers so many opportunities for Indians and Americans and other foreign businesses. Right now, relations between the United States and India are at a very positive inflection point. Lots of activity with the new government and very high-level engagement on a number of levels between the United States and the Indian government and our businesses. What's really important in our efforts at promoting trade and investment, in our commercial diplomacy with the Indian government on behalf of the interests of U.S. companies, market access issues they may confront in doing business here. And this is a message that we try to promote around the world, is to have close industry government consultation early and often. Because when it comes to policy, regulations, legislation, you will have better outcomes with close industry and government cooperation. Better outcomes for the government of India in your regulatory capacity, in developing your economy, and better outcomes for your consumers and your businesses. That's really a foundation concept for us in how we promote trade and investment and how we want government and industry to work together. And we very much want U.S. companies to be a part of that. One of the key messages we try to communicate is that the many U.S. companies that operate here, whether you have a direct presence or you're selling into the market, should be viewed as stakeholders in the Indian economy. when the Indian economy grows and opens up, we firmly believe that U.S. companies will also be able to grow and prosper. I also want to thank Vicky for putting this event together. This sector, direct selling, fast-moving consumer goods, is so broad. It has huge opportunities for the growing middle class in India. The United States is very optimistic about bringing more business to India. We want to do that in our job in promoting trade and investment between our two countries. We want to do a lot more of that, so we look forward to working with Vicky to jointly promote trade and investment between the United States and India. Thank you.
इन्होंने रेगुलेटर की बात कही है
2025 तक ये अबाउट 11 बिलियन डॉलर इंडस्ट्री बन सकती है और इसकी सबसे अहमियत इस इंडस्ट्री की सबसे बड़ी अहमियत है कि 60% इसमें एम्प्लॉयड विमेन है तो मतलब लेडीज़ के लिए ये बहुत बड़ी इंडस्ट्री है कि आउट ऑफ द 5 मिलियन पीपल जो इसमें एम्प्लॉयड हैं 60% विमेन है।
आज हमारे देश में अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट इतने ज़्यादा हैं तो इस ढंग के यदि विकल्प को हम लोग लाएं जहां इंटरमीडिएट्स घट जा रहे हैं, जहां हम लोगों के मार्जिन्स जो जाते हैं जो बनाते हैं मैन्युफैक्चरर और कंज्यूमर के बीच में वो यदि घट जाता है और हमको अच्छे गुणवत्ता वाला स्टैंडर्ड वाला सामान मिलता है तो इससे बेटर उपभोक्ता कुछ नहीं चाहता है।
डायरेक्ट सेलिंग इंडस्ट्री का एक इंटेंशन होता है जिसमें वो कहते हैं कि हम जो आपको देते हैं डायरेक्टली देते हैं तो इसलिए आप जो मार्जिन्स जो वेस्ट हो जाता है मिडलमैन के बीच में वो मार्जिन आपके हाथ में आ जाता है।
Direct selling has huge opportunities in India because of the great distances that exist here in this country. So it's in a perfect form of distribution in bigger countries. And also you have to be a bit social in nature in order to make it work and entrepreneurial. And I think those ingredients exist heavily here in India. So it's all the ingredients are there for a great successful